The United States of America, a vast landmass stretching from the Atlantic to the Pacific, a nation built on the promise of boundless space and opportunity. Yet, a glance at a population density map reveals a curious paradox. The majority of Americans prefer to cluster along the edges of this expansive country, hugging the coastlines and leaving the interior comparatively sparsely populated. From the earliest European settlements clinging to the Atlantic seaboard to the sun-drenched metropolises of the West Coast, we will trace the threads of history, geography, economics, and infrastructure that have woven together the intricate patterns of where Americans choose to call home. Our journey begins with the arrival of the first Europeans on the shores of North America, their settlements huddled along the Atlantic coast, their very survival dependent on the lifeline provided by the sea. The story of American population distribution begins with the arrival of European settlers in the 17th century. Arriving by ship, these early colonists established their first footholds on the eastern seaboard, their lives inextricably linked to the Atlantic Ocean. The sea provided sustenance, a means of communication with Europe and a route for trade. The original 13 colonies hugged the coastline, their populations concentrated in port cities like Boston, New York, and Charleston. These early settlements laid the foundation for the uneven population distribution that persists to this day. As the fledgling nation began to expand westward, it did so along rivers and canals, waterways that provided a crucial link back to the established population centers of the East Coast. The Northeast, with its historic cities and dense network of towns and cities, remains the most densely populated region in the country. The 19th century witnessed a dramatic reshaping of the American population landscape, driven by the transformative forces of the Industrial Revolution. The rise of factories powered by coal and steam drew millions of Americans, both native-born and immigrants, from rural farms to burgeoning industrial centers. The Northeast, with its abundant natural resources and access to shipping routes, became the epicenter of this industrial boom. Cities like Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh exploded in size, their populations swelling with waves of workers seeking employment in the mills, factories, and shipyards. The discovery of vast coal and iron deposits in the Midwest fueled the rise of industrial cities like Chicago, Detroit, and Cleveland. These cities, strategically located on the Great Lakes, became hubs for manufacturing, transportation, and trade, attracting waves of migrants seeking opportunity in the heartland of America. The Industrial Revolution not only spurred the growth of existing cities, but also gave rise to entirely new urban centers. These cities, often strategically located near transportation hubs or sources of raw materials, became magnets for job seekers and entrepreneurs. The rise of cities transformed the nation from a predominantly rural agrarian society to a more urban and industrialized one. As cities grew, they developed their own distinct economic and cultural identities, attracting people from diverse backgrounds and fostering innovation. This concentration of human capital in urban centers further fueled economic growth, creating a self-reinforcing cycle that drew more people to cities. The rise of cities also led to the emergence of new challenges, including overcrowding, poverty, and social unrest, spurring efforts to improve urban living conditions. From sea to shining sea, infrastructure, and the expansion of America's population. The westward expansion of the United States was inextricably linked to the development of infrastructure. The construction of railroads, canals, and highways opened up vast new territories for settlement, connecting the East Coast to the West Coast. The Transcontinental Railroad, completed in 1869, stands as a testament to this era of ambitious infrastructure projects. The expansion of railroads had a profound impact on population distribution. Towns and cities sprang up along rail lines, serving as shipping points for agricultural products, livestock, and manufactured goods. The development of infrastructure continues to shape population patterns in the United States today. The rise of the automobile as the dominant mode of transportation further accelerated this trend, leading to the sprawling metropolitan areas that characterize much of the American West and South. The Great Lakes, a geographic anomaly in America's population story. While the story of American population distribution is largely one of coastal dominance, the Great Lakes region stands as a notable exception. This cluster of freshwater lakes has played a pivotal role in shaping the demographic landscape of the Midwest. The Great Lakes served as a vital waterway for early European explorers and fur traders, connecting the Atlantic coast to the interior of North America. Cities like Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, and Buffalo emerged as industrial powerhouses, attracting waves of migrants seeking employment in the factories and mills that line the shores of the Great Lakes. Today, the Great Lakes region remains a major center of population and economic activity, albeit one that has faced significant challenges in recent decades. The region's universities, research institutions, and burgeoning tech sector offer hope for a more diversified and resilient economy in the future. Sunshine and opportunity, climate and geography in the 20th and 21st centuries. The 20th century witnessed a significant shift in migration patterns, as millions of Americans flocked to the Sunbelt states of the South and West. States like California, Florida, Texas, and Arizona experienced explosive population growth, fueled by sunshine, warm weather, and a lower cost of living. The rise of air conditioning made it possible to live comfortably in previously inhospitable climates, further contributing to the population boom in these sun-drenched states. As climate change increasingly impacts weather patterns and sea levels rise, it remains to be seen how these factors will shape population distribution in the decades to come. Beyond the coast, beyond the city, the rise of the American suburb. The decades following World War II witnessed a dramatic shift in the American landscape, as millions of Americans migrated from cities to suburbs. This suburban sprawl, facilitated by government policies, the affordability of automobiles, and a desire for more space and privacy, transformed the physical and demographic makeup of the nation. Suburbs offered a compromise between the perceived congestion and social ills of cities and the isolation of rural life, becoming the preferred living arrangement for a growing segment of the American population. Despite challenges like sprawl, traffic congestion, and a lack of diversity, suburbs continue to be the dominant residential form in the United States. As cities grapple with issues of affordability and quality of life, suburbs are likely to remain an attractive option for many Americans seeking a balance between urban amenities and suburban tranquility. The empty quarter? Population trends in the rural West. While much of the United States has experienced significant population growth, vast swaths of the rural West remain sparsely populated. This region, characterized by its rugged terrain, arid climate, and reliance on extractive industries like mining and agriculture, has historically struggled to attract and retain residents. Despite these challenges, the rural West holds a certain allure for those seeking solitude, natural beauty, and a slower pace of life. The region's vast open spaces, stunning landscapes, and recreational opportunities have attracted a growing number of retirees, remote workers, and those seeking an alternative to urban life. Climate change poses significant challenges to the region, including drought, wildfires, and extreme heat. However, the region's potential for renewable energy production, coupled with growing interest in sustainable living, could attract new residents and industries, breathing new life into rural communities. A future mapped-in movement, predicting the next chapter of U.S. population distribution. Predicting the future of human migration patterns is a complex endeavor, fraught with uncertainties and influenced by a myriad of factors. Several factors suggest that the trend of Americans moving to the Sunbelt is likely to continue. The region's warm climate, relatively affordable housing, and growing job markets, particularly in sectors like technology and healthcare, are likely to attract new residents. Climate change, with its potential to exacerbate droughts, wildfires, and extreme weather events in other parts of the country, could further accelerate this trend. The COVID-19 pandemic, with its disruption of traditional work patterns and its acceleration of remote work, has led some to speculate about the possibility of a rural renaissance. Additionally, the increasing cost of living in major metropolitan areas, coupled with concerns about traffic congestion and crime, could lead some to seek more affordable and livable communities in smaller cities and towns. Understanding these forces and their potential impacts is essential for policymakers, urban planners, and citizens alike as we navigate the challenges and opportunities of a changing world. The tapestry of American demography is woven from countless individual stories, each thread representing a unique journey, a personal decision about where to call home. Conclusion: the ever-evolving tapestry of American demography. The story of American population distribution is a testament to the dynamic interplay of historical, geographical, economic, and social forces. From the earliest European settlements clinging to the Atlantic seaboard to the sun-drenched metropolises of the West Coast, the American people have continually reshaped the demographic landscape of the nation. As we look to the future, it is clear that the forces shaping population distribution will continue to evolve. Climate change, technological advancements, and shifting economic realities will undoubtedly influence where Americans choose to live, work, and raise their families. As these stories continue to unfold, they will collectively shape the future of the United States, creating a dynamic and ever-evolving portrait of a nation in constant motion.